I remember when I got really fucking high one time when I was 16 years old. Our neighbors, my mom was renting out to these neighbors, and they had this pot butter, and it was in their freezer, and they made this fucking pot butter, and we made cookies out of it. So we like added the amount of butter you're supposed to, which was pot butter, and we made cookies out of them. And we're all just fucking sitting there, and we're fucking, there's like crumbs in the pan, and we're just eating the crumbs of the cookies, and we're just just eating them. And so we eat one cookie, and we're like, man, it's like an hour goes by, didn't feel anything. And like, so we start smoking bowls and smoking bongs, and we're like, fucking, let's get high. Like, what the fuck? These aren't even working. And then, boom, instantly, it hits.
Oh.
And my buddy John, you know John Bombi?
Yes.
So he's sitting on the couch, and he's sleeping, and there's a stove that's like maybe this far away from his feet. And he kept telling us, guys, stop it. And we're like, what? And his eyes are redder than the devil's dick. And he said, stop it. And we're like, what? And he thought we were sneaking up to him and throwing his feet into the fire. And I'm like, and I'm freaking out at this point. And so I go to my mom, and my mom's sleeping. And I knock on her door, and I'm like, Mom, I need to go to the hospital. She said, what? Like, Mom, I need to go to the hospital. She's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I ate too many pot brownies or pot cookies, and I just need to go to the hospital. She's like, oh, fucking write it out. That's what she said to me. To write it out. It's the only advice and she was mad. And all I could think of was me riding on a motorcycle down a dark desert highway and demons scratching at me as I'm riding this thing out. And all these demons are grabbing me, and I'm just trying to get away from these demons that are like grabbing onto me, but I'm just still driving down. And dude, it did not help me. And
well, honestly, that is the thing you need to do.
Yeah, dude, really, that is. You can only write it out, and like I agree with that, and that's what
I got
me.
Just last night.
Yeah, last night you and I smoked a little bit. And
last night I got really high.
I only took one hit, and you took like 6.
Took a lot,
and you were kind of freaking out a little bit.
I was really high, and I just had to ride it out.
That's the only thing you could do, and that was just like 30 minutes. It's good, right?
Yeah, well,
was it 30 minutes or more?
Oh,
was it more than that?
It was. Well, like it was one of those highs where you needed the adrenaline to not be paranoid, and then like I'd start to relax and be like, it's okay, and then I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, like I'm too stoned,
and then it was just not.
It was one of those dispensary joints.
Yeah,
so we're like,
just not. Yeah.
I only took one hit of it. I was smart about it. I was like, dude, I smoke my weed. I know what that is, so. I can take like 4 hits of that and I'm good, but like I took 1 hit of that and I was kind of freaking out a little bit too, but I just wasn't really showing it.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing, the best advice, getting too high is fucking write it out. Oh, I heard that. I kind of rattled the chair.
She's like my face.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the worst high experience you've ever had?
Oh man, one time same with an edible. They're always with edibles.
Oh, you ate an edible?
I ate an edible, and I was and I didn't know what an edible did, so I took a drive, and I drove my car and drove over to my friend's house, and I was like, okay, this ain't shit, whatever. I'm cool. I'm sober as hell, So over at their house, hanging out, doing the thing, and then all of a sudden, it just fucking hit me like that. Oof. Just smacked the shit out of me. And I was in my friend's, like, hippie wagon. Oh. And I was just like, oh, my gosh. And, like, I was like, I'm going to die. And I was, like, freaking out. I had to have them take it. And I was like, I couldn't even lift my leg. Oh. I wasn't driving, but I couldn't even lift my leg if I would have wanted to push the brake.
What did you eat? What was it?
It was a cookie like this big, and I ate half of it.
Oh, that's enough.
It's enough, and it was enough. And I almost called the cops on myself. I was so fucking paranoid. I was so
turn yourself like
for some reason it was the cops. But I like, I thought I was dying. I was like, and I called my friend and I was like, dude, what the fuck did you put in this shit? And he's like, it's weed, man.
They're having a good time.
Yeah, they're like,
because they're like seasoned.
And I was like, what'd you put in this shit? And he's like, I fucking know, right? You know? Yeah. And he's just like, you know, they're always seasoned. The people that make it, they're seasoned, you know?
And they make so light, they're so light of it.
Yeah.
Like they make it, but when, like now, like if I see somebody that's tripping out on weed, I try to calm them down. I'm not going to make fun of them. Yeah. But I've been made fun of multiple times because I've been too high. The last time I ever did pot cookies, I was at my dad's house and I was jamming with my uncle. Yeah. Just fucking, we're doing, have you heard my uncle, the guy with the weed hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so him and I are jamming out beautifully. And I have these like 6 I guess I'd call them step nephews. And they were just all hanging around with me. And like one of the kids was like, you know what? I'm going to time you to see how long it takes you to get high. And this kid's like 12, I think. And he's like, I'm going to time you, see how long it takes you to get high. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, stupid kids. So we're playing. And dude, it took an hour and 40 minutes before that fucking, I took a cookie and a half. And all of a sudden, I'm jamming with my uncle. And I go, and I grab the guitar, I put it down, I get up, and I start hugging my family members. I'm like, okay, see you guys later. And then my ex-girlfriend and I had a bed in the back of her car. And so I went back there, and I just fucking was trying to sleep, but my whole world was going like this. This is what the universe felt like, was this.
Dude, and I'm always afraid to go to sleep.
Oh, dude, me too.
Because, like, you feel like, oh, my God, your body... And you know what the most terrifying feeling of being high is that when your body is like you're feeling like you're gonna go to sleep, and you're fighting it, and you feel like you're losing the battle.
Exactly, like you're gonna die if you
like you're
asleep.
Losing the battle, and your body is putting you to sleep, and dude. you're about to pass out.
That's what's gonna kill you.
And that's what a couple nights ago or whatever was. Oh, I don't think it was last night. It was the night before.
Yeah, night before. Yeah.
The night before, I felt like I was losing the battle.
Yeah.
And I was in the body.
I feel the same way, dude. And my ex-girlfriend, and when she was talking to me, she was trying to like...
Can you guys hear? Somebody said it's too low.
It's too low? Well, maybe just scooch this like that.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Let's maybe move that up like that. Is that better? Yeah. Test 1, 2?
They said it's
That's
fine.
Probably better.
It's just one guy.
Okay.
One guy doesn't have his volume up, and he's like, what the hell's going on?
Well, that was... Okay. Well, anyways, so my ex-girlfriend's talking to me, and it sounded like she was talking to me. Everything that she was talking to me about was in riddles. So she's like, I'd be like, I don't feel so okay. And she'd be like, oh, don't feel so okay. Like, sure she was a demon.
Are you sure that was weed?
It was just weed. I swear to God, like, weed trips me the fuck out. And people always ask me, is that like acid? And I never did acid ever in my life. And they're like, and everything I'd say was, I don't feel so fine. She'd be like, oh, fine? What the time?
You know what's funny is if that's the way she sounded when you were sober.
Yeah, I know. And I think she was just talking to me, like trying to tell me like everything was okay. But it just felt like in my mind that it was a riddle. Everything was a riddle. And I barfed all over her tits. I barfed all over her tits, and then she started puking in this car. And we have our blankets out there. We got our pillows in the car, and we're just barfing on each other. And the next morning, we woke up, and I swear to God, I shit you not, there was a puke puddle creek that was flowing from the car down all the way to my dad's driveway. And it was like 20 feet long, a puke trail. And that morning, we woke up.
And then I puked on her tits.
And she took them too. And so she got so fucked up. The next morning, We had to take her to the hospital because her hands locked up like this. She couldn't move her hands. Like, they were like this. Like, she could not move her hands. Like, I was like trying, and she was very cold. So my older brother, who was sober, Spencer, drove us to the hospital, like, which was like, I think, an hour away. Oh, yeah. And so her hands were locked up like this, and all they did was they gave her a, what do they call that? Like, when they put
steroid.
No, it's like the water they IV? Hydrate. Yeah, an IV of like
IV fluids.
IV fluids. Yeah. So they did that, and she was fine, but she was so dehydrated that her hands locked up like this, and her face. Okay, can somebody pull up that image of? Can you fucking not? That little girl that's going like this, going. Like this, going. Can you fucking not? She looked like a mixture of that and Renee Zellweger from fucking Me, Myself, and Irene, or whatever the fuck else movie she's from. She looked like a mixture between that and the Can You Not girl. And her face was like this, and her hands are like this. And I was like deathly afraid that she was gonna die, you know? Like, I was actually concerned, you know?
Did she have nice tits, though?
She did. Oh, yeah, let's see. This one, let's see. Yeah, she looked like a little bit of that. Yeah, can you put that up on the stream?
I don't know how to fucking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, she looked like that, and I was afraid for her, you know, and like I didn't feel that bad the next morning because I drank a lot of water.
Did somebody clip the moment when he said, "And then I puked on her tits"? Because dude, that completely took me by surprise. Did you plan that?
No, because I did. I absolutely just barfed all over her tits.
Just the visual.
It wasn't even her face. It was not her body.
Just going random, and then she just, and then she pukes.
Well, I sat because.
All right, hold on one second. Here we go.
It felt like me.
Okay.
I know, and I think she was just talking to me, like trying to tell me like everything was okay, but it just felt like in my mind that it was a riddle. Everything was a riddle, and I barfed all over her tits.
the surprise.
To me, like trying to tell me like everything was okay, but it just felt like in my mind that it was a riddle. Everything was a riddle, and I barfed all over her tits. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I barfed all over her tits, and then she started puking. In this car, and we have our blankets out there. We got our pillows in the car, and we're just barfing on each other.
That's such a great best friend moment. Oh my God.
Next morning, we woke up, and I swear to God, I shit you not, there was a puke.
Because you could totally tell in the beginning I was just like, oh, okay, this is a cool story. And then I just fucking lost it. Oh, man. Oh, that's so funny. And then I barfed all over her tits. Oh. It's not as funny. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. Oh, man. Oh, man. Does everything go? How do I sound on this microphone? Should I get something like this? Oh, thanks, best upcoming streamer. Get a haircut. I already got one. I think it sounds really crispy. I think I should get something like this. And Kirk's cam is